All right, let me tell you about the wildest showdown I've ever had with an HOA president, one of those Karen types who thinks the world runs on her rules and everyone else is just trespassing on her lawn. I'm still laughing about how it ended, but man, I didn't see half of it coming when it started. Picture this. I'm Eric Johnson, 32, just a regular guy who likes a little peace and quiet, a cold glass of orange juice in the morning, and having enough backyard that I don't have to hear anybody else's dog barking unless I want to. 5 acres, just me, the trees, and the deer who treat my yard like their own private buffet. This all kicked off on one of those mornings that feel almost too good. You know, air crisp sun just coming up, deer tiptoeing around like they paid rent. I should have known it was the calm before the storm. I'd been looking forward to opening weekend of hunting season for weeks. I'm not some random yahoo firing off rounds for fun. I take it seriously, permit safety barriers, the whole 9 yards. I'm out back handling things the right way when I hear this banshee voice come ripping through the trees. What the hell do you think you're doing? I freeze for a second, then spot this lady. I'd seen her car before but never really met her, crashing through the brush like she's leading a SWAT team. Blonde bob face, beet red branches stuck in her sweater. She's mad like it's personal. "Good morning to you too," I say, trying to keep it light, but she's not having it. She points at me trembling and starts yelling about how I'm endangering the entire community. This isn't the Wild West, blah, blah. You ever have a conversation where you know nothing you say will matter? That was this. I explain calm, polite, showing her my permit, letting her know I'm careful. She just shouts louder about calling the police and the HOA phone already out dialing like her fingers on fire. I watch her stomp off. Honestly, not sure if I should be worried or just let it roll off. 30 minutes later, here comes a police cruiser, Officer Martinez, who looks like he's been through 3 of these calls already today. I show him my paperwork, walk him through my setup, and he's totally reasonable. "Next time, maybe just let your neighbors know as a courtesy," he suggests. Fair enough, lesson learned. I figure maybe that's the end of it. Turns out that was wishful thinking. A week goes by, then I get this envelope in the mail, Homeowners Association, in that official font that makes your blood pressure tick up a little. I open it, and I swear it's thicker than my old college textbooks. First page in red violation notice, $2,000 fine for unsafe hunting practices and noise violations. I almost spit out my coffee laughing. $2,000 for firing a few shots legally on my own property. The fine is signed by none other than my banshee neighbor Rebecca Gray, president of the HOA apparently. Suddenly everything makes sense. Now I'm curious, so I call the HOA office, get this nervous woman named Amanda on the line. She sounds scared, repeating Rebecca's script, pay the fine or face serious consequences. I ask for the specific regulation I supposedly violated, and Amanda can't answer, just stammers that she'll check with Mrs. Gray. Click. Call ends. Now my spidey senses are up. I spend the evening digging into HOA bylaws and state regs. Turns out an HOA can't just slap you with a fine and threaten legal action without due process. There's a whole procedure notice hearing time to correct all that. Rebecca's case is smoke and mirrors. I start documenting everything, scanning notices, saving emails, keeping a journal. I even label the file Rebecca Gray evidence. You know, just in case. The more I dig, the more bizarre it gets. I start requesting HOA records, meeting minutes, financials, violation logs. Amanda's legally required to provide them, so after some stalling, she does. That's when things start to really unravel. Expense reports showing community improvements, all at Rebecca's address. Landscaping, pool maintenance, security upgrades, every line a favor to herself paid out of HOA funds. I even find forged board signatures in meetings that never happened. The rabbit hole goes deep, folks. Just as I'm piecing this together, Amanda calls me late one night from her personal phone, voice shaking, says she can't keep quiet anymore. Mrs. Gray made me forge documents, create fake violation notices, sign off on stuff nobody approved. She's got proof emails, flash drives, surveillance photos. We meet at a coffee shop. She slides me a folder thick with evidence. I realize this isn't about my hunting anymore. It's about a pattern of bullying and fraud that's been going on for years. Court records from her last 3 neighborhoods every time Rebecca ran the HOA, racked up lawsuits, restraining orders, then moved on. Classic. Meanwhile, Rebecca isn't letting up. She starts driving by my place a dozen times a day, snapping pictures lurking on the property line with a telephoto lens. Then one rainy morning, I find muddy high-heel prints in my backyard. She's been trespassing at night, snooping through my stuff. That's the last straw. I start recording everything. Call the cops, even bring in a lawyer and a former board member who's been through the ringer with Rebecca before. Now Rebecca's playing dirty. Anonymous complaints bring code enforcement, zoning, even business license inspectors to my door. All bogus, all a waste of time, but it's harassment, plain and simple. Amanda keeps passing me the paperwork, false complaints, HOA, emails, the works. She's become my inside woman, and honestly, she's the hero in this mess. But Rebecca isn't done. One day I'm pressure washing my driveway, and Officer Martinez pulls up again. "Mr. Johnson, Mrs. Gray claims you threatened her life." I almost choke. "Officer, I haven't even spoken to her." I point down the street. There's Rebecca in her car, camera out, taking pictures. Martinez shakes his head clearly over it. But now I'm furious. I walk right up to the fence and tell Rebecca, "You're digging yourself a grave here, and I promise it's deeper than you think." For the first time, I see a flicker of fear in her eyes. It all comes to a head when I get a court summons. Rebecca is suing for $10,000 in emotional damages. I call my lawyer, William Parker, and show him everything. Amanda's files my evidence, camera footage. He whistles, shakes his head, tells me, "Eric, this is criminal territory now. Embezzlement, forgery, harassment, trespassing, she's crossed every line." So I go all in. Buy professional security cameras, set them up around my property, set a bait zone with my hunting gear in clear view. I'm ready for whatever comes next. Amanda calls with a tip. Rebecca's planning something big. She's got bolt cutters and a hammer in her car, talking about teaching you a lesson. The next morning, just before dawn, I see Rebecca sneaking around my backyard dressed like a wannabe cat burglar. She cuts through 20 feet of my fence, pounds a massive no hunting sign into my lawn, then calls 911 on me. Martinez rolls up. I am sitting on the porch sipping coffee, watching the circus. Rebecca's screaming about hunting violations. Martinez looks at the destroyed fence, the sign, then at me, book in hand, coffee steaming. I show him the security footage. Rebecca caught red-handed, time-stamped multiple angles. Martinez's face goes from tired to stone cold. "Ma'am, care to explain this?" he asks, showing her the footage. She starts shrieking about fabricated videos, but nobody's buying it now. Here's the twist. What Rebecca doesn't know is that I'm not just a guy who likes hunting. I reach for my wallet and show Martinez my federal badge. I'm Eric Johnson, U.S. Fish and Wildlife Officer. Everything I've done here is not only legal, it's my job to protect the preserve. Martinez goes wide-eyed. Rebecca goes ghost white. I lay it all out: embezzlement, harassment, false reports, everything. My attorney drops by with the full stack of evidence. Rebecca tries to run, but it's over. Martinez cuffs her right there for vandalism, harassment, obstruction, and more. Within a day, Rebecca is removed as HOA president, charged with federal crimes and facing civil lawsuits from half the neighborhood. Amanda steps up as interim president and starts cleaning house reverses, all Rebecca's policies, returns stolen funds, and brings the community back together. Neighbors come out of hiding, share their stories, kids drawing chalk on sidewalks, old folks hassled for their gardens, families fined for nothing. And me, I'm back on the porch, orange juice in hand, deer grazing mailbox full of thank you cards. The fence is rebuilt stronger than before. And Rebecca, she's in federal lockup, her kingdom gone for good. Amanda sends me a text. "Thank you for freeing us. There's talk of a community BBQ, and guess who's guest of honor?" Moral of the story: don't pick a fight with the quiet neighbor. You never know who you're messing with. Justice has a way of showing up sometimes with a badge. If you've ever dealt with a neighborhood tyrant or had to stand up for yourself, let me know in the comments. Right and wrong justice or overreach? Where do you draw the line? I'm Eric, and this is just one of many wild stories you'll hear if you stick around. See you at the next bonfire, folks!